Every once in a while, ILTV has the great honor of sitting down with some of the most influential musicians in Israeli history. Today, I'm so excited to be sitting here with Alon Oleartchick, one of the first Israelis to introduce Middle Eastern rhythms and beats to an international platform. Alon was part of Kaveret, one of Israel's most famous and popular rock groups to date, and has had a long and successful career as a solo recording artist worldwide. Here's a taste of his musical magic.
אני בחור בסיסי עם מבצע רוסי בשבת משחק שש ב-52 הייתי בן שנתיים זה 10 לחלק ל5 כן, בחור מונוליטי לעולם פוליטי עולם שכולו מהומה יש תשים אמיראז'י מצייר קולאז'ים ואוחז לי באם האדמה אנלוגי בדיגיטלי כשתשים אמיראז'י מצייר קולאז'ים ואוחז לי באם האדמה
Alon, thank you so much for coming in. So I understand you're about to go on a big tour in the United States. How are you feeling? Are you excited?
By the way, that was an incredible introduction. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got scared from it. Yeah.
No, don't be scared. I'm
okay.
sure that just listening to the music, I didn't need to say anything, you know?
Okay, thank you. I'm in the middle of a tour here in Israel now, that celebrates 30 years of solo career, whatever that means. And suddenly, in the middle of that tour, there's an American tour of 4 shows. Yeah, we're starting like in a few days, and we're going.
How are you feeling about
visa
it?
Yet.
Oh, you still have to get your
Yes,
visa. Uh-oh.
yes.
No, I'm sure you're not going to
And
have
I'm
a
very
problem.
excited because my band is with me. They are incredible musicians. I don't know if anybody would know their names, but they're with me quite a few years. And a lot of energy, a lot of basically happiness on stage. So that's what I'm doing now.
And, what is it like for you to perform for Americans? This isn't your first time, obviously, but is it different than performing for Israelis?
It's different every time I go there. If I'm a part of a bigger group or another group, then it's a different deal. I don't know. It'll be exciting. I don't know if I'm going to have to speak Hebrew or English or explain about the songs or do, I don't know, step dance on the stage or something. But it's very exciting. I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the most amazing things about being an Israeli performer going abroad is that, you're almost a representative of the country. Do you take that role? Do you view yourself as an ambassador for Israel?
Basically, you have to be like, people ask you about what Israel does when you're abroad. I'm like left when I'm here, and I'm right wing when I'm somewhere else because I have to justify Israel to everyone. I know that feeling. I used to live in the States for 8 years in the past, and I had to be an advocate of Israel. You have to be. Otherwise, it's like weird.
Yeah, well, I also think just being a musician in of itself, your advocacy is your music. It's not just talking all the time. People hear it and it's like, oh, there's music in Israel, not just a conflict.
I'm thankful for that I can do music and I'm able to sing and play and write music instead of doing other things like talking about Israel.
Yeah, exactly. Like we do every day here. Now, let's talk a little bit about your career. You've had lots of success, clearly, like I said before, and we could see in the video, but what was, in your opinion, one of your most inspiring or incredible moments that you've experienced?
The birth of my granddaughter 10 months ago, I guess.
Really?
I have a granddaughter, yeah.
So your granddaughter, that's not even related to music. But it's probably been a huge inspiration, no?
It's the latest inspiration, latest big thing that happened in my life, that birth. And my daughter gave birth to a granddaughter. Career-wise, when it was in 1984 or 5 when I discovered I could actually write songs and sing them as a solo artist. That was after the band you mentioned before, Kaveret, and people liked it. People liked. I was on the radio and people liked what I was doing, and I was like, I was 34 years old when I started singing solo songs, you know. That was quite a shock and very exciting. And I've been doing this since then until today.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like getting a positive reaction from, thousands of people. I mean, and to be doing that on your
any
own.
reaction, you know. There are so many artists, so many songs a week, a day, new songs, new things, new bands, new singers, you know. So it's like when someone, discovers you, that's a fantastic feeling.
Absolutely. Now, you were originally born in Warsaw, Poland.
Yes.
And your father was a musician himself, or he wrote songs. Now, did this Polish identity of yours have an influence on your music in any way?
I believe, I remember when I was like a baby, I was 3, 4 years, 5 years old. We left Poland when I was 7 years old and came to Israel. And we had a grand piano in the living room. My father used to write melodies for lyrics on that piano. And I was like listening how he was doing it, like playing a phrase over and over again, or trying different phrases for the same lyrics,
right.
like little musical sentences. That's really exciting. It's like the anatomy of how to write songs, and I think that was a big influence on me. I didn't want to be influenced; it just happened. Something from childhood. My father used to write songs, and I learned from him how to write songs. So.
Absolutely. It was a transition difficult coming to Israel. I mean, at 7 years old, you're still young, but you already know, Polish is your language, and.
Yeah, well, as a 7-year-old kid, it doesn't really matter that much. You have your difficulties with, you're an immigrant basically.
Right.
But it takes a couple of years, and then you're with the other kids, and you're fine. My parents had a what do you call it? Cultural
shock.
Shock, like all immigrants. They never recovered from it, really. They still, they had their accents, their Polish and Russian accents in Hebrew. That didn't help much,
So here's my question for you. You play a number of different instruments. You sing, you write, you act, you do everything. What advice would you give to others on how to live their life to the fullest, not just about music?
Wow. Well, I guess I'm old enough to be able to answer that question.
Accomplished enough.
Try to find something that you feel comfortable with, that you like. I didn't invent this advice. Just find your passion and go for it, and don't stop going for it, and whatever it is, and you'll be happy.
So
relatively happy, that is.
Absolutely.
Not happiness is not up to you totally, because there's the other things around you called the world that can make you unhappy. But you could help by finding your passion. And you could find your passion when you were like 30, or, it doesn't have to be when you're like 12. You don't know what you're going to be when you're 12.
Absolutely. Well, so my final question for you is, I know that we're going to see you in the U.S. What cities are you going to be performing in?
Los Angeles, Palo Alto, Boston, and New York.
Okay, great. So, for everybody to know, if you're interested in seeing Alon Oleartchick perform in his upcoming U.S. tour, visit tiv.com to buy tickets, and you should, because he's amazing. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Natasha.